Life is unpredictable. Life is uncertain. And
Human as we are, we often like to search for answers. But what if the answers are already there, laid out in front of our very eyes, and yet we seem to be blinded and search for something greater? Every day, I awake to the oppressing sunlight burning into my eyes, and I start the day with it, full of life as if I know what I was born to do. But during those days, I would also feel like there is an emptiness inside of me that yearns to be filled, wanting to succeed, wanting to find. But what?
stability,
Wealth,
Success,
art,
intellect.
love,
I don't know, but I have had about 18 years to find.
Throughout my life, I'd searched lifetimes looking for the purpose of life, only to receive hints over echoes that are sometimes senseless and absurd. But no matter what I do, thoughts would come into my head. I want to become this. I want to become that. I need to get this. I need to get that. If I ever want one thing, I have to do something by all means to get it. If there's a will, there's a way.
But what is the way? As unpredictable and uncertain life is, you'll never know whether that will is acted upon by the universe through a roll of a dice or the hands of faith. But I don't want that. I want to have control in my life.
As the abrupt conclusion of our adolescence faces us with a fear of our future, we often find ourselves struggling to become an image of our high expectations. But then, an understanding of a belief unacknowledged by most enlightened me of ways to find bliss without the forced processes exposed to us by local norms.
back then, I never really understood what could be so fascinating about this religion called Taoism. I only ever thought of it as one of those things that a person would like to indulge in, in order to grasp ideals and principles about what life could actually be and try to make some sense out of it. Another one of those religions that was only handed down from the ancient times to our current generation today. Little did I know just how close I was to this religion more than what I had intended to, and without even knowing in the first place.
Taoism first appeared during an incredible time of Chinese history, the period where the states warred during the 5th to 3rd BC. During this period, many philosophers, such as Confucius, would form ideas on how to control people, armies, and states. But one philosopher stood on the sidelines and laughed at the idea that humans can even begin to know the correct way of doing things when our minds and perspectives are so small. It was the wise old gray-bearded Lao Tzu.
The beauty of Taoism is still very much evident to this day through their followers who prefer the simplicity of life rather than to give in to the temptation of earthly attachments. In this, we can learn a thing or two from the Taoists in how to truly value the elegance in which is the simplicity of life itself, and helps us realize that we do not need anything fancy in order to stand out in this world and live the perfect life that we so wish to achieve.
I used to think that life is complicated and unfair. The rush of the world is quite overwhelming that I, for one, never really had the chance to look within or understand what was happening around me because I was so focused on living that in the end, I never really knew the exact meaning of life and what being alive is truly all about.
But Taoism teaches us to trust and to accept things the way that they originally are. There's no other reason, no other meaning, they just exist. And things happen that way because that is how life and the universe works.
We are so drawn into the world of the unknown that we worry about all these uncertainties to the point that we were made to believe that our sole purpose in this world is to figure everything out. But in fact, as it is in the teachings of Taoism, life might actually be even simpler than what we normally make out of it. It taught me to just be, to accept the way and the nature of the world without forcing anything just because I didn't know nor understand every single thing there is about life.
As a rational human being searching for the answers to life itself, the ideals emphasized by Taoism had drawn me much closer towards achieving my goals. It opened my eyes to the true inner beauty of effortless living and going with the flow. The true perspective of it lies deep inside ourselves and of our lives.
So, life. What is it?